In relation to this, you presumably doing full Transformers Generation 1, like, the original idea concepts we had back in 1984.
It started out that way, and it still is more G1 than it is anything else.
Okay, recently some comic books have been doing this too, and then something has occurred to me. When this came back out in '84, and obviously the movie a few years later, the vehicles, both on the Autobots and the Decepticons, are models that, well, quite frankly, are models of the time. Like, for example, the Seekers or F-15, Eagles, where nowadays, in today's day, they'd be like, presumably, like an F-22 if they were made in this time period. The issue you mentioned earlier about Soundwave, obviously, cassette tape technology is back there as with 8 tracks now. But with the idea of the models, the vehicles, the cars, are you going to incorporate modern, like, of today's time, or like go back to '84 and have a story subplot maybe where it's like, well, these are the honored elders we found on Earth when we were scanning with our probes? So
no. To answer your question, again, it's about doing. It's about appealing. If everyone who loves this as much as we all do sees this 10 times, but no one else sees it, the film could be considered a flop. It's about appealing to a mass audience while keeping the fans' faith, if you will. So let me finish. So Michael Bay has got a huge reputation and connection with the U.S. military. They've vetted the script. We've made a couple changes. They've agreed to work with us, so we'll have access to F-22s. We're going to have access. We're going to spend the first 3 weeks of the shooting on. It was announced in a press release, I think Thursday. We're going to be spending the first 3 weeks of the shooting on the White Sands Naval Base.
Oh.
The U.S. government's being very cooperative with the vehicles. As far as the cars, it was more of a business decision. It was impossible.
Yeah, like certain vehicles, like the old Lamborghini Countach.
Well, it was impossible
to copyright from them, apparently.
But it was also impossible to make a deal with all these different companies. So all the cars, although there will be different cars, they're all going to be General Motors.
Saying all
General Motors.
GM. All the Autobots are going to be General Motors.
Yep.
It's conspiracy here. Okay. In that case, then I thank you. But in relation to the quick question, Megatron.
Yes.
He's a tank in this movie?
It's not an incorrect statement to say that Megatron is simply, since, again, I don't want to give away anything, I don't want to get in trouble for saying anything, I don't want to screw myself here.
Well, we won't
Megatron is very much, I'm sure most people have read the Dreamwave reboot. Mm-hmm. Megatron is very much the character that everybody in the movie is talking about, is seeking. I don't recall if I don't even think I could. I think it's safe to tell you that Megatron's alt form in this film is almost irrelevant, because for most of this film, when you see Megatron, he's Megatron and he's kicking butt.
So there's no controversy to the fact that if you boil down to it, Megatron transforms into a weapon that was used by the Nazis during the Second World War.
He doesn't turn into a gun. No, that was never going to happen.
So nothing like that. So no Nazi gun. He's going to, totally.
That was never going to happen. No, he's not. That was never going to happen.
Thank you, my friend.
It's okay.
Hi, I'm Steve. So he basically asked my question. It's just that maybe I'll phrase it a little differently. I think it's okay. Friends of mine and other people I know about Transformers are sensitive to scale. In the earlier episodes, things changed scale all the time, and it was pretty unsettling.
Mass shifting.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that you wouldn't head that direction, but we're just interested how you get around some of those conceptual issues of scale, and then even if you could speak to what kind of scale the robots have relative to humans.
No, but that's the debate about Soundwave.
Soundwave, yeah.
Which is that it's the first movie. The concept of mass shifting is hard enough to explain, as opposed to trying to explain the concept of cars transforming. What the designers have done so far is, on each of the transforming vehicles, they transform literally according to what they would transform. So, they've done everything according to, like, okay, if we took this vehicle and transformed it, the height of the vehicle would be what would happen if it. There's no vehicle becomes bigger than it would be if it transformed, which is why Optimus and Megatron are the biggest of them all, obviously.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.
Nathan,
hi.
It's very nice to be talking to you. X-Men, I've fairly big percentage of that were existing comic book fans. But in a movie like this, would you be more targeting the audience that would say, "Hey, I remember those things. My brother had one of those."
What happens is, because, I'm a fan, right? And we're all fans. And what happens is we all either think that our insular world is bigger or smaller than it is. Okay? The reality is, for a film to worldwide do the numbers that something, they're going to spend over $125 million on this movie, not even mentioning the marketing. In order for them to get that back and profits, it needs to appeal to, and I'm talking like for the next 5 years. I'm talking about the movie, the DVD, the HBO release, the TV version, the special edition DVD, all the stuff that happens with the movie. X-Men 2.0 and all that stuff that they do. It has to appeal to a mass audience while appealing to the fans. I submit to you, because I had this conversation once with Tom Rothman at Fox when we were doing From Hell. I submit to you that if everybody who'd ever read an X-Men comic went to see X-Men and nobody else, that movie would have been considered a failure. It's about appealing to the people who vaguely know X-Men maybe is cool, and then going out and seeing it, and not, and you and I getting, oh, that's Kitty Pryde over there sleeping in there, but not getting, and there's going to be lots of that in this movie. There's going to be lots of references that fans will get, but it's also about getting the average ticket buyer on Friday night to go, oh wow, cool, this is great. Which is why little things like, again, and I don't want to be speaking to this because a lot of this stuff is not decided yet, but little things like the noise, I want to keep. Little, things like Cullen and Welker. It's because changing it doesn't get us anything, and it keeps the fans happy. So, nice to meet you, Nathan.
My name is Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
I was just wondering about some of the characters I've heard that have been introduced: Vortex, Brawl, Devastator, Scorponok, and two more that I can't remember.
Have been introduced?
Apparently, from what I've heard, the Brawl is a police car.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say. But if you're asking me about Brawl, I wouldn't say anything about Brawl because I don't think that the Decepticon lineup is actually finalized yet.
Okay,
So.
that was pretty much my question. I didn't know
Yeah.
if that was the actual character set that was going to be introduced. Like Starscream was one.
No, as Michael revealed on Monday, so I don't have any problem saying it. That in one scene, there's a pretty. I gotta watch my language. There's a pretty kick butt Scorponok.
Okay.
Who takes out most of a military unit in a scene that actually reads on the page really exciting and kind of scene that Michael Bay directs really well. As he revealed in Anacal News, so I'm not saying anything out of line. But the rest of those characters you talk about are not finalized yet.
Okay, so all right, wonderful.
Cool.
That was my question. Thank you.
Cool.